Good morning, everybody. We're back. Well, kinda. Sorry we've been away for so long. There's been a lot of stuff going on. The one thing that is new is that started a new hobby. And this is what it is. 3D printer. Ingrid bought me this for Christmas, and we're back in the laboratory where we set it up. Fire extinguisher in case anything happens. Got the laptop in here, all the camping gear, fishing gear. See all that. But what we're doing, like I said, I started a new hobby of 3D printing. Just got it, just started. I've only made 3 little things just for samples. Now I'm diving into the deep end. You can see it working there. You see the black shiny ring right there? This is a file that I just downloaded. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is yet. It's going to be a surprise until we get done. But I'll keep coming back during the build. What this is, it's the Creality CR10S Pro VS. VS stands for version 2. And it's the reason why I got this is because the smaller units you gotta build and upgrade yourself and stuff, and I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to learn how to do it, download the prints. You can buy them, you can get them for free. And this one that I'm doing now I got for free. And I rescaled it. I sliced it. You got to go into a slicing app and build it up from there, the file, and then you download it onto an SD card and then load the SD card into the printer here and then go at it. So as it's going, I'll just keep coming back and show you as it's building, and I'll explain some more. It's still all pretty new to me, so what it's doing is it's going back and forth and extruding hot plastic onto the bed plate here. The bed plate's heated to 60 degrees. The plastic that's coming out, as you can see right here, I've got coming out at 215 degrees. The bed plate being at 60 degrees, what that does is it adheres the plastic to the bed a little bit better. What I'm using today is the filament. It's a PLA, which is a polylactate acid plastic by Hatchbox. It's a 1.75 millimeter PLA. I've got some PLA Plus coming, and we're going to try some stuff with it also. I've also got some wood PLA, which is like 20 or 30% wood, and the rest is the PLA plastic. And then I've got some carbon fiber PLA, which is the same thing. It's 20% carbon fiber, 80% PLA. That's a little bit harder to work with, and I'm finding out through videos that it's a little bit more brittle than the PLA, but it stands up in heat better. This doesn't stand up to heat quite as well. Like if you build stuff and put it in your car at about 85 degrees, it'll start wilting a little bit and it will melt back down. So that's what I've been doing over Christmas. We have been planning on getting back up into the woods. Like I said, there's been some complications, and I'll explain them later. But I wanted to come on and show you this, and I'll keep coming back, like I said, as it's building up. What it's doing is it's just going back and forth, depositing plastic, and the extruder there will go up as it builds up and up and up and up. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay. Just to show you some of the things that you can do with these printers, 3D printers. This was the first one that I did. And when you get the printer, at least with this one, I got a little SD card that had some sample files on it that you can print out. This was the first one that I made. And you can see that's pretty good quality, and that was pretty crappy PLA that comes with it. The only problem is that I didn't have the bed temperature hot enough, and up at the crown of the head it came loose on the table and didn't get to finish. So that's what the inside looks like. That's called filler. But the facial, contrast is just great. And this one was the second one that I did. I did this one last night. And I really couldn't tell you what it is. It looks like a wastebasket, a little toy wastebasket, but you can see the intricate work in there. And that's just great. And then the one I just finished before I started this last one was this little doll. Looks like a little Chinese doll eating something, or soldier, comic soldier. But that one there, it came loose after about, it takes a long time. That was 3 hours, 3.5 hours when it came loose. That second one there was about 2.5 hours, and the little doll there was about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. Now the one we're making right now, unfortunately, is going to take about 11 hours. So it is slow and tedious. Right now, that's just the bed, the stand that this thing is going to be on. It goes back and forth, back and forth. Right now, that's the filler that it's filling up, because what it does, it builds a wall, and then the inside is a filler, so that you don't fill. It's not 100% wall. It's only got like a 1.5 to 2 millimeter wall, and then the inside of it is different shapes, honeycomb shapes and stuff for strength and stuff. That saves on the PLA, the plastic. So it's gone about 5 rotations now as it's building up. So I'll keep coming back. Alright, well, it's been an hour right now, and you can see not much progress has taken place. What it was doing earlier, the outer ring is called the skirt. What that does is it adheres it to the bed plate better and keeps it from tipping over. Just finished the skirt, and it's now starting on the main base. You'll have to excuse the noise. What that buzzing noise is, that's the fans. This thing's got 4 fans on it. One's right there, that's the extruder fan, and then there's 2 or 3 others down inside the base here. What that does, it just keeps all the moving parts and the motors cool. so that they don't overheat. One thing I'll explain that I do know is that these printers work off of 3-axis movement. It's got a Y movement, it's got an X movement, and then it's got a Z movement. The Z is up and down, and the X and Y is forward and backward, side to side. So yeah, you can see after 1.3 hours, it shows it right there, 1.3 hours, 0% complete so far. That's how slow they are. Not much progress. So we'll come back in about another hour and show you how much farther we've gone. We'll be back. Alright, back once again. It's been another hour, and as you can see, it's now about a little over 1/4 of an inch tall, probably. And what it's doing is it's building up the base wall right in here, and it's hollow inside, and those little designs inside, what those are is basically just supports for the inside of the base, since it's hollow. And then the inside of the main piece is going to be hollow too, with the supports on the outside to hold it up, and then those on the inside to keep it from caving in. I don't know if you could see, but it's getting a little stringy on the inside. I was printing it at 75. I just slowed it down to 60 parts per hour. So we'll see if that gets rid of the stringiness. Real fine little fiber strings. You can see them right in there a little bit, going from piece to piece. So hopefully slowing it down will get rid of that. It's now 3% finished. Been going for 2.1 hours. 2 hours, 10 minutes. So we'll be back in about another hour and see how it's going then. Alright, we're back. It's not quite 3 hours yet, but I did want to come on and show you exactly what's going on now. What it's doing, it's got basically the main walls of the base done with the center structure right in there. Now what it's doing is it's starting to cover the top of the structure to make the top of the base. I wanted to say also that, and I'll explain a little bit more on the process later, but the inner filler that I'm using is called Lightning. And as you can see, if you look close enough, the reason why they call it that is because it kind of looks like it's the shape of a lightning bolt. And it's fairly new, and it's supposed to be one of the strongest out there now, so I thought I'd give it a try. It uses less material, but it's stronger base. So right now it's about 1/2 inch tall. And it's, like I said, it's starting to fill in the top. Right now it's 5% done, the whole thing, 2 hours and 51 minutes. Slowing the speed down did cure most of the stringing. So we'll see how it does farther up when it gets into the main structure. You can see what it's doing there, how it just goes back and forth. The extruder there is going back and forth, left and right, while the table itself is going back and forward to fill in the layers. That's what it looks like from the side. So once it gets the top up and a little bit farther, we'll be back. Yeah, there's a good picture of it right there. Sorry for the jerking. Later on, I want to come back on. I'll explain exactly what this is, the process from start to finish, and like I said, I'm a noob at this, so I'm still learning. Watched a lot of videos, ordered a lot of different kinds of filament and nozzles and stuff. So we're gonna give them all a try and see what kind of damage we can create here. We'll be back. Alright, we're back. It's been about 3 hours, and you can see the progress. We're now 6 hours into the build. We're 24% done, and that's all we've got. It's now about 2 inches tall. Still got about 6 more inches to go. Got a light on it. You can see there's some stringing on it. I've been playing with the temperatures, but most of that stringing, when I pull the upright supports off, will come off, and then I can burn the rest off with a heat gun. Those things off to the side, those are the upright supports that I was talking about in the earlier clip. There's one on each side, and there's one in the front and one in the back. What those do is they just help support the overhanging parts of the structure from collapsing out. When it's done, those will just peel right off. I don't know if you can tell what it is yet, but it's not looking too bad. Just slow going. We got about 5.5, probably 6 hours more to go on the build. I want to keep coming on and showing you the progress. In the next clip, I'll probably go through and explain the process a little better. Right now, I'm thoroughly happy with how it's coming out. So we'll be back probably in a couple more hours. Alright, I'm back. And as you can see, my project is done. This is the next day. The later that it got in the night, it just got too dark to actually film because the lighting stinks in this room. But it'd be just like, it was like watching paint dry, watching the hot end go up back and forth and the table moving and just building up by the layer. So I just didn't film any of that. It took 13.5 hours to build this project. So that finished last night at about 10 o'clock, and I just took it right off the printer and kind of finished it up a little bit, stripped it down. And this is what I got. That's my project. That is a Sasquatch figure. And it came out pretty decent for my first major project. Stands about 7-8 inches tall. Pretty good form. It's got good layering, what they call layering. The base came out really good. So now what you can do is you can just buff it down with a little sandpaper to get rid of any of the little imperfections, and then you can paint it or whatever. I'm going to leave it just like it is right now because I'm going to print another one that's even bigger, and I'm going to try to improve it a little bit. But to explain how I got here, you start off with an STL file. An STL file is what you get from the CAD program. There's two ways that you can get them. The ST files, you download a CAD program, and then you can just build a file from there, the geometrics, the whole thing. And when you're happy, download that into what's called a slicer. So you got the STL file, you download into a slicer program. What the slicer program does is it generates the code, which is called the G code, that goes on the card, SD card, that goes into the printer, and that tells the printer exactly what you want it to do. The different layering, the temperatures, the speed, all sorts of different stuff. The inlay, what kind of inlay you want. The fill, how much fill you want. You want 5% fill in there, or you want 25%, or you want a full solid piece. That's in the G code. Okay? The skirt. Now that's what I was talking about in the first clip. This is the skirt. And the G code tells you that. What kind of skirt you want, how big a skirt. And this attaches, lays down first, and then starts building up the base, and then up the project. Okay? At the end, you can peel that right off. Okay? And then the supports. You got the inlay support inside this thing, but then you also got these outer supports, and these are what I was talking about, that hold the project up as it's being layered. And then at the very end of the project, you can basically just snap these right off, just like a model. The old car models we used to build where you just peel them off. Well, that's what the supports do. Okay? So after you get the G code put on the card, you put the card into the printer, and then you can just kind of fine-tune the printer through the keyboard. The front viewer, and you can just fine-tune it. You can fine-tune the temperatures, you can fine-tune the settings and stuff, and then hit print, and off it goes. That is basically the basics of it all for a noob. Like I said, it took me about 13 and a half hours to make this. Now I can go through and paint the base up brown or gray or green and stuff, and then maybe go ahead and touch up the face a little bit. Came out super glossy. I love that. I'm not going to paint the body or anything, because I love the way that it turned out. A lot of them don't come out glossy, they come out kind of dull. I think it was because I slowed my speed way down. I was speed at 70, I believe, and my temperature clear up to 210. And that's with regular PLA. Like I was explaining, there's different types of PLA. I was using straight PLA. I've got some PLA Plus coming. That's a little bit stronger material, and it works a little bit different. I've got the wood. I've already picked out another design, an STL file of another Sasquatch that I'm going to start doing probably later today. And I'm going to do it with the wood PLA. And that's just 20%, 25% wood fiber mixed in with the PLA, a light brown or a dark brown, whichever shade you want. And then at the end you can actually stain it, just like regular wood. So I'm going to do that on this new one that I got. and it's a two-part. You can do a straight figure, it's an abstract Sasquatch, and then another one, the second part is the same design, but it's got wings. So I thought that was really sharp, and I'll show that after I get it done. But it was fun. I'm learning a lot. I've got some more nozzles coming. 4 different sizes. I got some steel nozzles. Some, like I said in a previous clip, some of this PLA is pretty abrasive, so it tears up the brass nozzles pretty quick. So I got some steel nozzles coming. I've got stainless nozzles coming, and we'll see what it does. The wood is pretty fibrous and abrasive, so we'll see what it does. I'll probably start it. I'm going to upload this video here and then probably start it later. Something new in the journey. This is what we're going to be doing during the snow. We still have Squatchzilla with the tracks put together. We still got to get up and do a video, a review video on that. So I've ridden it around a little bit, but nothing big up in the mountains or anything. We will be getting back out. I just have to feel a little bit better. So that's what we got, folks. And stay tuned. We appreciate you hanging in there with us. If there's any questions on this, let me know. I will be putting in down in the description, I'll put in some links to the site that I got this off of, because you can get the STL. You don't have to make your own out of a CAD. There are different sites out there where people go through and make their own STL files, and then they download them on these other sites and they sell them or they give them away for free. This one was for free, and there's the one that next one I'm making is a free pattern also. So there's a lot of them, a lot of things you can do. But this one, there's a lot of different printers. There's this one here. There's printers that work off of resin. You load the resin in and it makes the projects out of resin. They're a little bit more trickier. And then there's actually metal 3D printers, and those things are expensive, thousands of dollars for those. But this one here, this is fun. This is a hobby, new hobby, and see what comes up next. After I get going on the next project, I'll go ahead and let everybody see what it is. So appreciate y'all, and we'll be getting back with you shortly. Peace.